Welcome back to English B language class. In the previous video, we discussed the possessive pronouns and the possessive adjectives with examples and tables. Our subject of discussion today is self-pronouns. There are 9 types. However, they are grouped into 2 categories. One is the reflexive pronoun and the other is the intensive, emphatic or emphasizing pronoun. As always, here are a few points for you to note. Recalling the previous class, a few words about self-pronouns, explanations of the 2 types of self-pronouns with examples and the conclusion. In the previous class, we came to know that my, our, his, her, your, its and their are possessive adjectives. Mine, ours, yours, his, hers, its and theirs are possessive pronouns. There are some peculiar possessive pronouns like his, her, it, you, your and its. Let's begin with self-pronouns. Self-pronouns are words like myself, yourself, himself, herself, oneself, itself in singular forms and ourselves, yourselves and themselves in plural forms. There are 9 in total. They can be used in 2 different ways, as reflexive pronoun and as emphatic, intensive or emphasizing pronoun. Here is a table showing self-pronouns with person and number. First person, myself. Plural form, ourselves. Second person, yourself. Plural form, yourselves. In third person, himself, herself, oneself, itself. In plural, themselves. Reflexive pronouns when the subject and the object of a verb indicate the same person. When the self-pronoun is used for the purpose of putting emphasis, we call them emphatic, emphasizing or intensive pronoun. Observe the sentences carefully. 1. Lisa saw herself in the mirror and smiled. 2. Kate saw Lisa herself doing so. 3. The birdie can feed itself now. 4. The birdie picked open the cage door itself. In sentences 1 and 3, subject and the object is the same person. The action of seeing does not pass on to another person, rather it reflects back to the same one. When used in this way, self-pronouns are called reflexive pronouns. But if you notice carefully, you will find in sentences 2 and 4, subject and the object are different persons. Action passes to another one, does not reflect back. The self-pronoun itself has been used to emphasize, that is, to make more intensive. So, the pronouns, better to say self-pronouns, that are used to put emphasis are called emphatic, emphasizing, or intensive pronouns. To further clarify the subject, let's visit a language class where the students are inquisitively hearing their teacher who is explaining self-pronouns and getting the students involved in making their examples themselves. In the classroom, the teacher is asking the students, what are self-pronouns? Have you heard about it? Sorry sir, no idea. Self-pronouns are words ending in self or selves. At this, a boy raised his hand. Yes, Tom. Sir, do you mean self-pronouns are reflexive and emphatic pronouns? Yes. What gave you the idea? These pronouns have selves in the end, like myself, yourself, himself, herself. Yes, you are right. Go on. Sir, then itself, oneself. What is about pronouns like ourselves, yourselves, themselves? Sir, are they also included in this group? Yes. They are just the plural forms. The term intensive pronoun might seem unknown to you, but they are as simple as anyone can imagine. You have heard reflexive pronouns? You have heard emphatic pronouns? Have you ever heard intensive pronouns? No, sir. I'm sure many will say, sorry, sir, we have no idea about it. Let me tell you, intensive pronoun is the other name for emphasizing pronoun. Clear? There are 9 reflexive pronouns in English. They are myself, yourself, himself, herself, oneself, itself in singular forms, and ourselves, yourselves, and themselves in plural forms. Have you got it now? Yes, sir. Now, give an example of reflexive pronoun. You, Meena, come on. Give an example of reflexive pronoun in a sentence of your own. At this, Meena stood up to give the answer. Sir, I saw myself in the helmet visor. I mean, my reflection, sir. He did his home task himself. Am I right, sir? Partially right, because the second example is not correct. So far my question is concerned. At this point, one of the boys named Joy stood up to ask, to clear his doubt. Sir, may I be permitted to answer this? Yes, come on, Joy. Sir, in the second sentence, the subject and the object is not the same person. Yes, in that case, till now, what function is the self-pronoun doing here? Sir, it has been used to put emphasis, I think. Correct, you are. So, when the subject and the object mean the same person, we use reflexive pronoun. Sir, please give us some more examples so that we can understand it clearly. Sure, I shall give you ample examples for your understanding. As it is introduced to you for the first time, it appears to be very uncommon, but you all have used them and you know them well. Here is a set of examples. I hurt myself while driving the nail to its place. He hit himself on the head in anger. She selected herself the leader of the team. Pull yourselves together. The principal will arrive any moment. One should always be careful not to cut oneself while using a knife. You must help yourself in a buffet system. We deprived ourselves of the opportunity while selecting the leader. He insulted himself by supporting the cheat. They managed themselves well as members of the managing committee. The child hit itself while playing with a toy hammer. When self-pronouns are used to emphasize something, we call them intensive, emphatic, or emphasizing pronouns. Intensive pronouns are myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, oneself in singular, and ourselves, yourself, and themselves in plural, as in case of reflexive pronouns. The only difference is they are used to put emphasis. Now, some examples of intensive pronouns. I will solve the problem myself. The children must arrange the books themselves. Anna painted those pictures herself. Can one uproot such a big tree oneself? The mouse is an input device itself. We will take care of the building ourselves. Rosie and Susan can do the job themselves. He broke the lens himself. You have committed the blunder yourself. Did you inform the principal yourselves? At this moment, one boy stood up to ask one more question. Excuse me, sir, the other day you said self-pronouns are reflexive pronouns, and all the examples here we find are exactly the same as the reflexive pronouns. But you're telling they are emphasizing pronouns as well. Can they be used both ways? It depends on how they are used. The 9 self-pronouns can be used both as reflexive as well as intensive pronouns. We have got a lot of examples here, but the problem is that the subtle difference there is not clear to me. Could you tell us the easiest way to remember them or differentiate them? Yes. In case of the self-pronouns used as reflexive pronouns, they are the inseparable part of the sentence. That means, without this, the sentence will lose its meaning. I hurt myself while driving the nail to its place. Now, remove the self-pronoun myself from the sentence. It is not clear as to who is hurt, the doer or anybody else. But in the sentence, I did the task myself, remove the self-pronoun myself, it has retained the meaning yet. Clear? So, remember, all reflexive pronouns are self-pronouns, but not the vice versa. This much is for today. We will be back with some other parts of speech in the next class.